outcomes of this PPT will be hormones. What are hormones? Now, what are endocrine and exocrine glands? What are the major characteristics of hormones? The thyroid gland, its position and function, the main hormone secreted from the thyroid gland, hyposecretion and hypersecretion of thyroxine hormone. This we will be completing in part 1. Now in part 2 we will study about in detail about pancreas and adrenal, and part 3 we will study about the pituitary gland and the feedback mechanism of hormone. Now let us move on to the next slide. Now what are hormones? Now hormones generally, these are mainly the chemical messengers. Now please try to follow my pointer, red pointer over here, which are secreted by the endocrine glands and carried by the blood and the lymph to the target organ elsewhere in the body to stimulate a specific activity that may be biochemical or physiological. Now, endocrine gland we have described here. What are endocrine glands? See here, endocrine glands mainly are ductless glands. These are ductless glands, which means the hormones which are secreted from these glands are directly poured into the blood, and they directly act on the target organs which help to achieve the function. Now let us move on to this exocrine part. These are the glands which are mainly from the duct, having their own duct, which have their own duct, these glands. So the hormone is generally secreted into its own duct, which is carried to the target organ through the duct itself. Now mainly in our body we will be studying on the ductless gland. So let us move on to the next. Now in this slide we will discuss about the characteristics of hormones. So hormones we have described in the previous slide that they are mainly the chemical messengers. So what are the characteristics of these chemical messengers? Let us see. Now the first one is they are produced in very minute quantities. So the amount is very less. So the very less amount only triggers the target organ and it starts working. They are secreted mainly by the endocrine glands, which is directly poured into the blood. They act on the target organs or cells. They are biologically very active and their action is very rapid. They bring about the metabolic revolution in the body. They are destroyed soon after their reaction is over. They are never stored in the body for a long period of time. So these are the main 6 characteristics of hormones. There are many other characteristics also, but the main 6 are this. Now let us see what is in store for us in the next slide. Now in this slide we will learn about the main categories of hormones. Now hormones are generally of 2 types. One is steroid hormone and another one is non-steroidal hormone. So what is the pathway of action, or how does this hormones act? Now steroid hormones, see, these diffuse through the cell membrane and they bind to the internal receptors which are present within the cell. So they are entering our cell, they are diffusing through the cell membrane and they are entering our cell to initiate their action. Mainly the thyroid hormones and the estrogen progesterone hormones are the steroid hormones. Now, androgens, thyroid hormones, estrogen, and progesterone, etc., are the steroid hormones. And the peptide hormones or the non-steroidal hormones, what does these hormones do? These are mainly amino acid derivatives, or peptides, or proteins. They will bind to the receptors present on the surface of the target cell, like glucagon, insulin, and oxytocin. So there is a huge difference between the mode of action of this steroid hormone and this non-steroidal hormone. Now let us move on to the next slide. Now here first we have started with the thyroid gland. Now let us see this diagram. Now this large thyroid gland which we can see, let us just follow the pointer. It is pinkish in color. Now it is, see, just located near the neck region. It is below the larynx and in front of the trachea. it has two lobes. You can see this two lobes which are connected by a narrow mass of tissue called the isthmus. Now here see, you can see four dots which are mainly embedded in the posterior part of the thyroid gland. These are also a part of thyroid gland, and they are, this is the back view, these are called the parathyroid glands. Now this are the parathyroid glands, this is the thyroid gland, and this is the part connecting the thyroid, the two lobes is the isthmus, and this is the larynx, it is below the larynx and in front of the trachea. Now we will move on to the next slide. Now in this slide I'll discuss what are the two main hormones secreted from the thyroid gland. Now the first one, or the main one, is thyroxine. There is another hormone, calcitonin, which is secreted from the thyroid gland. But for class 10 students, it is not in your syllabus. You will be studying it in higher classes. So in this class, we will restrict ourselves to only this thyroxine hormone. So as calcitonin is not in our portions in 10th standard, we will not go in details for calcitonin. As of now, you just know two hormones secreted from thyroid glands are thyroxine and calcitonin. Now in the next slide, we will discuss about the functions of thyroxine. Now here see, the main function of thyroxine is growth and development of the body, the ossification of bones and mental development. Now you can see the patients of less uh, secretion of thyroxine will be little bit retarded in their mental development. Now it regulates the nervous system. Most activities of the nervous system are regulated by the thyroid gland or thyroxine hormone. It regulates the basal metabolism by stimulating the rate of cellular oxidation, resulting into energy production and maintenance of body temperature. Now, if there is a problem in the secretion of thyroxine, this hormone from the thyroid gland, there will be a problem in the growth and development of the body, as well as there may be a mental retardation. There may be a deficiency or different problems in nervous system. The body temperature of our body will not be regulated properly. So basically it stimulates the rate of cellular oxidation. So if there is a problem in thyroxine, many problems may arise. So let us see in the next slide what are the problems which may happen if thyroxine is secreted less or it is secreted more in our body. Now in this slide we will discuss about the hyposecretion or the undersecretion of thyroxine. So hyposecretion or undersecretion of thyroxine. So what happens here? This is actually simple goiter. So thyroid gland, here we can see it is enlarged a bit. Now it is a human neck which we can see from outside only. It is enlarged, it is swollen. It is visible from outside that the neck is swollen. So less thyroxine secretion might be due to the insufficient amount of iodine in the diet. Now this problem is goiter. It occurs mainly to the people of hilly area, as there is a deficiency in soil iodine. So as no iodine is there in the soil, the people will consume less iodine, and in absence of or less presence of iodine in our diet, this goiter happens. Now let us see what is there in the next slide. Now this is another case of hyposecretion of thyroid. See, this child, he is having a retarded or defective development. So it is also hyposecretion of thyroxine. It is mainly this thing happens mainly in children. They are having a stunted growth. The growth is not as per a normal child. See, the bones, they are deformed. They are not straight. There is a deformity in the bones of hands, legs, and the body. These are pot bellied. These children are pot bellied. The skin we can't actually see in this picture properly. They have become rough and dry. The growth of hair is also very less, and they are mentally retarded at certain degrees. So this is another problem. Now what is there in the next slide? Let us see. Now this is also a problem of hyposecretion or less secretion of thyroid. So what is happening here? This is called myxedema. Now, see, this is hypothyroidism in adults. Now, see the picture. The hair is dry, coarse, and very less. The eyebrows are also thin. The facial tissues have swollen. The eyes below have become puffy. So the heart rate we can't observe from the picture. Generally, these people are having slow heart rate. The hair is dry, the body temperature is very low, and they are very sensitive to cold. And there is a muscular weakness and general lethargy to these people of myxedema. So the hyposecretion of thyroid has three diseases. Mainly, one is simple goiter. Secondly, we have studied cretinism in children, and this is myxedema in adult. Okay, let us move on to the next slide. Now, in this slide, we will discuss about what happens when the thyroxine is secreted more or hypersecretion of thyroxine. Now, here in this picture, we can see that this lady is not normal. When say, thyroxine is secreted more, it is called exophthalmic goiter. Now, it is what happens the protruding eyes. These persons are having rapid heartbeat. There is increased metabolic rate and short breathing rate. And you can see in the neck region also, the neck region also is a bit swollen. So there is a problem of thyroid hormone. So it is hypersecretion. Now you can see the eyes, how they seem, they will fall out from this part. So they are protruding. Eyeballs are protruding, and this is the normal thing. The lady is not doing it like as if the eyes are protruding. It is her normal eyes. When she opens her eyes, will be like this. So this is a disorder which is caused by the oversecretion of thyroxine hormone. Now, this is all for this part 1. We have discussed about the thyroxine gland in full, the function, the hyposecretion, and the hypersecretion. Now, in the next part, we will discuss about the other glands like pituitary, adrenal, and pancreas. So, as of now, this part of endocrine system is completed. Thank you.